Hi, my name is Seth. I just completed my master's in project management. I am a teacher. I teach in the industrial arts department. I've been doing it for the last 16 years. I enjoy it. It's exciting. It has its ups and downs, but I'm fulfilled at the end of the day. I knew after finishing my degree, I wanted to do additional studying. I was not sure, so I did Google search, just checking and seeing what was offered online. Well, just the courses that were offered, and then the option came up of doing an online course, and I did additional research, and the University of Essex came up, it popped up, and the course that I wanted to do was in project management, and it happened that the University of Essex offered that. And when I read through what the course was entailed, it was just where I wanted it. I was not too keen on doing online work because I never did it before. Most of the time I did in my academic studying, it was done face to face. But I saw the opportunity, and it so happened to work out. Yes and no. When I say worked out, it worked out because COVID-19 happened. And it was a case then at the work, it didn't stop me from studying, because I know that friends of mine, when the whole pandemic started, they had to pause in their work and it got pushed back. We didn't have a break, not to say that was a bad thing, but we continued. So we was straight on task, and the timeline we completed in time that was allocated. So it wasn't a break, and I really like that. So it was something that was unforeseen, but it still worked out. So the online learning was beneficial. It was a little bit daunting. I was a little hesitant at first because I wasn't sure what to expect. I realized that the work, it was more self-teaching in a way. And I didn't have a problem with that because I usually do my research. I liked the fact that, as I said, the pandemic didn't stop the work from being done. There was always something to do, and the course outline really helped because I know what to expect, and everything was right there for me. I liked the fact with the videos that were sent, the tutorials and such like. So I didn't see it as being as daunting as I expected it to be. I actually enjoyed the whole process, and it was beneficial. It feels like I made a massive accomplishment in my life. It had some times it was very, very challenging because one, it was a face-to-face. Two, it was in a area that I was not 100% fulfilled with, but having overcome that, I would do an online course in a heartbeat now. I would actually rather do it that way. The time that I could have taken to do assignments, I didn't need to be allocated a time. Like sometimes you have maybe a 3-hour slot with your lecturer and face to face. I realized that it didn't need that. I could have woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning and do work, and just as long as I submitted it at the deadline, I found that freedom, and that gave me a little bit more eased my anxiety a little bit. So I was able to just work at my own time, work at my own pace, but still produce the work that was very. I would like to attend. COVID still is the issue. Pandemic is a real thing that's going on right now. I would like to attend. I think it's especially in a different country. I would like to experience how graduation is done. Different cultures have different ways of doing graduation and obviously doing everything else. I would like to take a loved one with me, just to experience the whole thing. And it sounds like it was something that I would really like to do, but right now things are so out of control. I don't know, but it was something that I would really like to do and take the trip and make a whole experience from it. There was something that we had to do during the course where we had 2 weeks to produce 10 responses to persons to a question that was posed, and that was something new to me. It wasn't as straightforward just writing an essay or writing. You was given a assignment. You had to write research on it. You actually had to do research to what someone replayed or post. So that was interesting, and it made you think more critically, because you're having an academic conversation with someone. And I found that at first was challenging, because you had to get the format and everything done, because you still had to have references and citations and such like. After I got the hang of it, I had to develop little techniques to get it done. But that was interesting, and I enjoyed that after a while, especially seeing where a person was coming from, because everything someone said you didn't agree with, or you didn't see that from that point of view. So then it came not to be an argument, but a discussion that we went back and forth, and sometimes the thread will go longer than you expected. Other persons would chime in, so I found that to be interesting. At the end, doing the research, doing the interviews and the write-ups and everything, that was different. It was challenging as well because of the COVID situation. Persons were not too keen on doing face-to-face, so I had to do everything online interviews, and it gave me a sense of comfort because everything was done at home. Most of everything was done at home. I really utilized the technology that was given to me around me. Sometimes we have, it just made me realize that things could be done a lot easier with the technology. But yeah, that was mainly the most interesting parts. Also, I really enjoyed how the University of Essex, how everyone was so quick to respond to emails, respond to questions. I didn't have the time difference was an issue, just getting time difference understood. But as soon as I sent the email, it was I got a response from the lecturers, from persons in student affairs and what have you. It was really quick, and I really enjoyed that. I really appreciated that, and that's one of the things I could really say at University of Essex did. It exceeded my expectations of that one. Right, I had to write what was the effects of natural disasters on the construction industry, using business continuity. That was interesting. I realized that there's not, in Barbados where I'm from, there's a lot of people that really don't have, we usually use experience rather than planning. There's nothing really set up for disasters. We will know that a disaster will come, you will do this, you will do that. But that is from experience, not that you are looking at something that has been documented. And that was where there was a lack of information in. I think it's just a case of persons just using experience rather than looking to see what can make a business continue to run after a natural disaster, be it a hurricane, a tsunami, bad weather, whatever way. It just made me realize that there's more that can be done, and the research was lacking in a way that there is a void that needs to be filled with that information. And it's something I was thinking about in terms of actually making it into maybe a business opportunity, sharing that with persons and seeing how businesses respond to having business continuity plan put in place for natural disasters on a construction site or in construction business or what have you. So it was something that seems to be global, marketable. With the business management, I realized that it is not a case that you can just believe that things will work itself out. You have to have a plan. You have to manage people. And managing people, using the word managing and people might come off a little offensive, but persons need to be guided, managed, directed, and with the project management, it also showed me what's the difference between leadership and management. You could be a good manager, but not a good leader, and vice versa. But for everything to move smoothly, you have to be best of both worlds. And it also taught me since I'm a teacher and I work with students. So you have to look and see, and not only students, members of staff. So you have to work and see how the strengths, how you can get persons more motivated, because that's one of the big things in project management, motivating persons, making persons comfortable, and knowing how to lead them and how to manage not only the person's situation. So that means you have to have a plan, a layout, from the initiation to completion. You have to know what you're going and what you need to do. So project management has caused me to realize that, has allowed me to realize that management is important in a project, and you cannot forget that leadership is also vitally important. And putting two of them together is beneficial to not only to you as the individual, but also to the project that you're undertaking. Yes, I am planning to use it where I am right now teaching. There are persons that I am a head of the department, so then I have to use it to manage members of staff and make sure that projects that we undertake, be it changing the syllabus, academic, whatever for the students, that could be used. Also, I will take this information that I use from the research and actually see if we can make it into a business and see if it could be done in a way that it could benefit the construction companies and firms that operate here. I would tell persons, don't be hesitant to go online. I know most of the time persons have had face-to-face interactions when you are doing any academic work. It's done from primary school all the way to secondary, tertiary. But don't give up on online. It is beneficial. You work at your own pace. I can only speak of the University of Essex, but I know that from what I have experienced, the information is there. There's always someone that are willing to help, The lecturers are very professional. I have not met anyone that I could say anything bad about. Um, I made the right choice with Dr. Thompson when I was doing my research. He was very helpful, very thorough. He made sure that I was right on task, and even if I was off, just the way he communicated in our meetings, I got back on track immediately. I would say go for it for any potential students. Go for it. Try it. You're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be beneficial. You're going to learn a lot. You might have, it might be a learning curve because you don't interact with persons in the same level you did before. But if you're goal oriented and you have a plan, you have a goal in place, something you want to achieve, this would be nothing. This would be easy for you to overcome. And as long as you are focused, you will understand that just because you're online doesn't mean that is anything detrimental, but it's something beneficial.